Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley. Dennis is off tonight. One man was hurt after a bear attack during a hunting trip in the Twin Creek area along the east side of the Hungry Horse Reservoir this weekend. The Region 1 Wildlife Human Attack Response Team and Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks are investigating. They did not specify what kind of bear was responsible for the attack. They do know that the victim was an adult male who was hunting with a friend near Spotted Bear River Sunday morning. Initial reports reveal this was a surprise encounter in a very brushy area.
They fired at the bear and it ran off. That's really about all I know. Exactly who was doing all the shooting, I don't know. So they're collecting the information, just trying to get a clear picture as to what actually happened.
We do not know how badly the hunter was hurt, but his partner took him to the hospital. The incident is under investigation. Alcohol is a suspected factor in a rollover crash that killed a Knoxon man near Lost Trail Pass this weekend. The Montana Highway Patrol says it happened between midnight and 6 in the morning yesterday, but dispatchers received reports just before 5:30 in the afternoon that this had happened. MHP says the 34-year-old man was the only occupant in a Dodge pickup truck when he drifted off the road on Highway 93 near Lost Trail Pass. He was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle that overturned multiple times down a steep embankment, coming to a rest on its wheels with the victim pinned underneath. It is the 144th deadly crash in Montana so far this year, and it remains under investigation. Switching over to weather now, we saw some rain today, but warmer and sunny conditions are expected for the rest of the week. Let's send it over to Russ Thomas for his first forecast now. Russ.
Thanks, Jill. Yes, what we are going to see is an improvement in our weather today. Kind of a cloudy, gray day for sure, even a little bit of rain across parts of western Montana. We look at our current temperatures, a little on the cool side, 54 degrees in Missoula, 58 Kalispell and Polson, 55 degrees in Hamilton, even cooler in Phillipsburg and Sula, where temperatures are in the mid to upper 40s. As far as our satellite and radar goes, again, just kind of a dirty cloud day in terms of the fact that we didn't see anything that was overly impressive as far as rain goes. We just couldn't really shake the clouds at all today. But again, I think more sun is on the way, and we'll have your complete forecast coming up.
The Pentagon says if North Korea does not stop provoking the U.S., it will make sure the president is given options to deal with that country. North Korean leaders say they're ready for war. Lewis Vaughn Jones has the latest from London.
North Korea's foreign minister says President Trump has declared war on his country.
트럼프는 지난 주말에 또다시
Ri Yong-ho told reporters in New York Mr. Trump's tweet on Saturday that North Korea's regime won't be around much longer gives Pyongyang the right to self-defense. North Korea released a new propaganda video showing computer-generated missiles destroying U.S. jets and an aircraft carrier. It warns American forces will be headed to the grave if the U.S. attacks the North. The threat came after U.S. bombers flew off North Korea's east coast Saturday. The Pentagon said it highlighted how seriously President Trump takes Kim Jong-un's reckless behavior. The foreign minister said North Korea reserves the right to shoot down U.S. bombers, even if they're not in North Korean airspace.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
North Korea sent a letter to other nations asking them to condemn President Trump for vowing to totally destroy the country during his speech at the United Nations. The government staged an anti-American rally in the capital of Pyongyang over the weekend and said 100,000 people showed up.
Little Rocket Man.
President Trump continues to taunt North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, despite reports his own aides have warned him not to personalize the conflict. Lewis Vaughn Jones, CBS News, London.
Even China is urging all sides to exercise restraint and to stop doing things to, quote, irritate each other. Now, Montana U.S. Senator Sen Daines spoke out today about the recent escalation. Daines recently returned from a security and trade mission to South Korea and Taiwan. During the trip, he visited the Korean demilitarized zone at the North Korean border and a South Korean island near the border. According to the senator's office, he participated in a classified strategic briefing and spoke with South Korea's defense minister.
The regime presents a grave threat to the United States and to the entire world. We need to do all we can to apply economic and diplomatic pressure on the North Koreans, but all options are on the table.
During the trip, Senator Daines also met with leaders in Taiwan to discuss expanding wheat, beef, and coal exports to that country. Daines' office says Taiwan is Montana's third largest export market in Asia. Flathead County commissioners are looking to buy 24 acres of Weyerhaeuser property in Columbia Falls for a new Flathead jail and the sheriff's office. The property includes the Cedar Palace and the Data Center building. It will cost a little more than $2.5 million to purchase. The commissioners are holding 2 public meetings this week to talk about it. The first one in just a few minutes at 6 o'clock at the Columbia Falls Junior High School. The second meeting is tomorrow at 6 at the Flathead County Courthouse. All are invited to attend and to provide comment. 2 more small earthquakes rattled the Lincoln area overnight. The first one was a magnitude 3.5. It hit just before 3 o'clock this morning. A second 2.9 magnitude quake was recorded about 45 minutes later. Both were about 10 miles southeast of Lincoln. One person reported to the U.S. Geological Survey they felt the earthquake as far away as Ennis. There have been no reports of damage. Now, both earthquakes were in the same general area as that 5.8 magnitude earthquake that hit on July 6th. That earthquake was the strongest recorded in Montana in decades. Protesters fighting to keep the Affordable Care Act intact disrupted a Senate hearing on the GOP's controversial health care bill. Opponents say it will cut critical services under Medicaid. Republicans say it's Obamacare that is on a crash course. Wei Zhang has more from Capitol Hill.
If you want a hearing, you better shut up.
Protesters, many with challenging health conditions, interrupted the start of a Senate Finance Committee hearing on the GOP's latest attempt to repeal and replace Obamacare. Some demonstrators were carried out of the room.
We just want them to kill the bill.
Marilee Adamski-Smith was born without arms and legs. She says the bill proposed by Senators Lindsey Graham and Bill Cassidy would cut crucial Medicaid services.
If home and community-based services get cut by Medicaid being cut, then a lot of us will be forced into nursing homes, and nursing homes are like prisons to us.
A CBS News poll shows 52% of Americans disapprove of the Graham-Cassidy bill. That includes able-bodied Pocky Wieland.
So what is your message to lawmakers today?
To pay attention, to have a heart.
The hearing finally got underway, and the bill's co-sponsor, Senator Lindsey Graham, defended his legislation.
We're going to send this money back to the states. You can't spend it on roads and bridges. You got to spend it on health care. You're going to have flexibility, but you're also going to have accountability.
The Senate has until Saturday to pass the legislation with a simple 51-vote majority. Some Republicans have already come out against it. Others say it's a necessary first step.
I'm looking for something that gets us to a point where we can address all the problems that will continue to exist if this vote doesn't happen this week.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell hasn't yet committed to a vote and does not want to repeat the failure he suffered in July.
Republican Senator Susan Collins of Maine says she is opposed to this latest GOP health care bill, undermining the prospects of it passing. Tonight only, you can grab a bite to eat and help victims of wildfires get back on their feet in Montana. Local businesses are participating in a statewide initiative where restaurants are doing their part to raise funds to help Montanans impacted by the fire season. The Craggy Range Bar Grill and Latitude 48 in Whitefish, all Chum Mambo restaurants, and all Mackenzie River Pizza Company stores across the state are donating 20% of their food sales. The proceeds will go directly to the American Red Cross of Montana. All you have to do is dine to donate.
We're super excited to be involved in raising money statewide here in Bozeman. We're expecting a good turnout for people to dine and donate today to support Montana, to help with fire, for all the people who had experienced loss incurred.
Their movement is called #Montana Strong Monday. That restaurant is open until 10 o'clock tonight. And Wells Fargo announced today a donation of $22,500 to support relief efforts for those impacted by wildfires in Montana. The company says $10,000 will go to the American Red Cross of Montana, $10,000 to the Montana Community Foundation, and $2,500 to the Garfield County Fire Foundation. Through this fire season, the Red Cross of Montana opened 18 wildfire shelters throughout the state to serve those impacted by the more than 1 million acres worth of wildfires this summer. And thank you so much to everyone in Montana and beyond who has so generously donated to our Montana Wildfire Relief Fund. We've teamed up with the Montana Community Foundation to help those impacted by the summer's fires. So far, we received 828 donations, and have raised over $145,000, adding in matching funds from several sponsors, including the Montana Television Network. The grand total now sits at $245,389. We want to thank everybody who has contributed so far. There's time to donate still. You can go to kpax.com/wildfirefund for more information. Well, still ahead, although today wasn't as sunny as expected, we'll see some nice weather in the near future. And after the break, we'll take a look at the apple harvest in the Bitterroot. Stay tuned to KPAX.